Hey guys, it's Kelly. Hey, it's been a while since I did a video. Wanted to share some laminated pouch stuff that I've been doing. So, laminator, I forgot I even had this darn thing, but I do love it. And I have come across the need to keep some of my paper pads together. There's a lot of videos out there where people are making pouches and they do great. I found a different way. Frankly, I think it's kind of genius, so I wanted to share with you guys. So, these pouches, if you've got a laminator and some laminating pouches, you can make whatever size pouch you want to keep yourself organized. And sometimes these are really great projects when you're kind of feeling that you don't have creative mojo, then at least you can be creative doing something in your craft room to get things organized. If you use an organizational thing to do it, then you start pulling out things that you forgot that you had and they're like, oh my gosh, and then boom, now you have creative mojo again. But I'm going to show you guys how I did this one specifically, but in a 6x6, because a lot of us have 6x6 pads. And I'm going to show you how I did this one. This one is for my 8x8 paper. I love the matte laminating pouches so much. They are new to me. I just had to buy them and I absolutely love them. But I'm going to show you how to make it like this. Super easy to do. And you can customize it, make it any size that you want. And there it is. So, show you how you do that. And it's so convenient to keep your collections together with all the little bits that you cut, because you know you get something together and then not everything makes the cut in your project, but you still want to keep it together organized in a paper pad, and this is a great way to do that. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I've done it different ways, and so I've been experimenting. This way I've got all this extra space up here. I'm not crazy about it. I'll still keep this just because I made it. This one just is open at the top so things can fall out. If it, you know, I mean, I might still keep it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But, and then this one is really convenient to have for my slimline card dies. They're really tall, so you can make those. There's so many things that you can do just to keep things neat and tidy, you know, and organized in your room. Because what I have been using is the bags that they come in. I leave them in the bag, and I hate it because it's all like, I hate it. So I can't wait to get rid of this. Very excited about that. So let me show you how you do it. I have one that's pre-cut, and then I'll show you how to cut it as well. So you're going to need a laminator. You can probably hear mine kind of making a weird noise. I don't know why it does that. I have a very affordable Scotch laminator in my craft room. Forgot I even had it for a while. And then the laminating pouches that I have are, I got this one. This one I got when I bought the laminator, and I have regrets about that because I personally like the matte. I didn't even know it was an option. Now I found the matte ones. I bought them on Amazon, but I only have 50 of these. So since I like the consistency of this, which is what this one is, it's matte, as opposed to this one, which is very glossy and shiny. I have so many things glaring at me as it is. What I do is I use the shiny ones as the inside. That will make sense here in a second. If you've never made pouches before, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you will soon because I'm going to show you. So I will pull out, this is one of the pouches. This is the matte. A little awkward here. And then this is the glossy one. So I'm going to need two of these. And since I'm going to be making a new one for my 6x6 pad of this glorious paper that I love, what I'm going to need is, I have found for these smaller 6x6, if it's a really fat 6x6, this might not work, guys, but for the smaller ones, like when you get in kits and stuff like that, it works so well. But for this one, I found 6.5. This is 6x6. So if I do 6.5 square, that is good. So a couple cuts that we're going to do is just with the glossy one first, because that's the one I'm going to put inside the matte one. So you are going to cut the glossy one 6x6 square. And then once you cut it, I already got one cut. So I'm just going to show you. I already got one cut over here. You're going to cut it 6x6 square. Now you have two pieces essentially. What you need to do is take it apart. Take the two pieces apart, and also don't have lotion on your hands when you do this. You will stain everything. Your little finger marks will be over everything. you pull them apart and you can see one side is shinier than the other. There's one slippery side and one that it has the glue on it. You just need to do slippery to slippery side. Flip them over and make sure that the slippery side is facing the slippery side, because in here will be the pocket. If you do it that way, then you'll have a pocket. If you don't do it that way, it will just stick and you have one big ball, one big sheet of laminated laminate. So that's not what you want. All right, so now I am 6.5. Let me make sure I cut that right. Right, yeah. So now what you do is you take your, if you like the mat like I do, if you have the same setup, you do whatever pouches you prefer, but now you take your pouch, second pouch, mat or otherwise. Make sure you got all your workstation clean so you don't get any bubbles or little bits knocked in there, stuck in there. So now leave yourself room on each side, because I like to have it come over about 1/4 inch on either side. So you're going to put these together perfectly. Leave yourself some room. You want room up here so that you have room for the flap that we're going to make. So I would say, you know, at least 1/2 inch all the way around is safe. You will have some waste with the laminate, but you know, it doesn't matter. All right, so now it looks like it's perfectly lined up there. Carefully, it's pretty staticky. Put that over there. And then we're going to run it through here. While it's running through, I'll show you some of the other things I got going here. So I got to get it perfectly lined up. Grab it. Come on, take it. There it goes. That's probably going to be a little crooked. So while that is going through, I did another one over here for, I have these super, super long. This is like one of those buyer regrets that I have. I wish I wouldn't have bought this thing, but I did. But I could custom make this that long. You can make them for whatever you want to do. But this is like one of those slimline cards that's like way bigger than it should be. But I'm sure if I fold this, I can get pretty creative with this die. So I keep it. I'm not going to get rid of it. But I needed, it was the awkward one, in like the odd one, the black sheep of the family of dies, where it doesn't really fit anywhere. But I needed it to have a home. So now it does. And it's not flopping around everywhere. Also, for your dies, this is so great to have with your dies, because when you have the little tittles for your letters, they always get thrown away. There it is right there. So I like that. But there's no lid on it. So if this gets turned over, can it move? It could, but this is really staticky, so it keeps it right in there just for when I need it, and I can have it when I want. So it's super cool. Oh my gosh. I wasn't paying attention and it got stuck. Look at that. It got stuck on my laminator. So hold on. No big deal, I can fix it. I'm going to run it back through again. Well, that's frustrating. We'll just redo it. It's not the end of the world. If you didn't know, you could just run it right back through. Okay, so we'll let that go. But yeah, I hope you guys find this helpful. I mean, there's all kinds of things that I need to get like together. The only thing that I got to figure out is how to do the collectibles with, like, I don't have laminate paper long enough to do it. So I'm gonna have to find a way to like put it through multiple times. Oh my god, it's stuck again. There we go. So I'm gonna have to find a way to like do double pouch. I'm sure I could find a way to do that, and actually I just thought of it, so maybe I'll come back with that. But I love these collectibles from Stamperia, but they wind up being super long. So I still have them in the bags. So it works for now, but it's definitely not ideal. So because I'm not paying attention, it got screwed up again. So we're gonna put it through again. There's like literally no limit to how many times you can put this through. Well, if there is, I haven't hit it yet. Because God knows I've made enough mistakes as I've been discovering this whole thing. So yeah, we'll put that through. But yeah, so I will have to speed up the video for this part, but I hope, and here's the thing that makes this pouch different, is this tab right here. And the way that that's done is very unique. So it's going to be really cool when I get to show you guys. All right. Now we just wait. And I really don't have anything else to show you guys because I haven't really been being very creative lately. Cards I did recently, I did in my video. But how cool would it be to make some pouches that will hold all of your ephemera? Like I've got all this here. Here's an example. I usually buy these pouches, these right here, and they're flimsy. They're not as rigid as the laminate is. They work, but I settled for it. But to be able to have these in one of these laminate pouches is going to be really, really awesome. I'm looking forward to that so that I can kind of thumb through them, put labels on them too if I choose. So this isn't perfect, guys, but that's okay. Basically, we got what we want to do. It's a little wrinkled, but I'll show you how it's not. Literally, it's just not the end of the world. You're going to cut it off anyway. So when you're doing these, make sure, don't do what I did. Don't learn the hard way. You cannot use your guillotine for this. It won't cut it right. Don't do it. You got to use something like this, one of the slider blades. That's the only way to really do it right. So now, this line right here, you can see the pouch inside this, right? Because we're using the matte one. If I was using the glossy one, you wouldn't be able to see anything here. But you're going to use the line of each one of these to cut it 1/4 inch, except for the one at the top. You need to leave yourself a little bit of a lip here, and I'll show you why. So I just use the first line of my trimmer and line it up with the bottom of the pouch. And I cut that. And I do it the same way all the way across. Let me make sure that looks a little uneven. And I'm going to be a little anal about that. I literally had to make this tiny, tiny little correction. That's a little crazy. Okay. And then again, I just use that first line, which is what, I don't know, like, it doesn't matter. Just use the first line. That'll get you, because it's about 1/4 inch to the cutting. And that leaves me, I have found that is a really good measurement for me. If you get too close, you will open up your pouch. You don't want to do that. So I have to keep this closed, otherwise I won't be able to open it and have a pouch. I hope that makes sense. And now I'm just on that one line right there. Hopefully you guys can see. And it's really hard to see on the video, but just cut it to where you leave yourself 1/4 inch. If you don't have a cutter, you can absolutely do this with scissors. I want it to be good and straight. So I have found, so here's what I'm going to do. This top section is going to be where it opens. So if this is going to open, I don't need this massive flap. So I want to cut that down. And I found right about, I think about 1.5 inches. Well, let's see. How much is this one? It's 2 inches. So 2 inches. So I want to go 2 inches from this line right here, and I'm going to cut that. So on my 2-inch line on my cutter, I will line it up that way using my lines. And there we go. So there it is. I like to, we're done with the cutter. I'm going to put that away. I like to round the edges because these get kind of sharp and you don't want to be slicing yourself up in your craft room. There's enough things that could burn us, cut us, get in our eye, all kinds of stuff. We don't want any of that. So I'm not going to do these just yet because I'm going to be opening this. So if you wanted it straight at the top and just open like that, you would cut it right on the line. I don't want that because I want the flap at the top, but I don't want to have this big bulky laminate piece folding over. So what I did was I got my blade, and I know that between these two pieces of paper, there's a gap because I have a pocket in there. So you have to meticulously grab your knife and just make a tiny, don't go straight down. You have to go at it at an angle and pierce this paper. Don't cut yourself. Pierce the paper just barely until you feel it give. Oh, I can't, hold on. Yeah, I got it right. Just barely pierce it. And once it gets in there, you just slide it all the way down. Nice and easy. It's magical. And then the side that you started, you can clean that up a little bit because that's the one that you were kind of picking at. Just barely. There it goes. And check it out. There it is. Now I still have this, but now this is just like, it's my, I love it. It's freaking magical. I love it. And then when you bend this over like that, crease it, it's not broken. It's completely intact. It's not cut. You didn't cut it because it's the other side of the pouch. So now bend this over. These are sharp. If you can use your scissors and cut them. I like to use my rounder. You got to get really muscular with it. There we go. If you got a real heavy duty one, this isn't an issue, but again, you can just round it with your scissors if you want. So if you bend it over like that, then you can fit it in there. Okay. And then these you just kind of miter in so that it slides in. Now you won't be able to use a rounder on it after, so you just have to use your scissors. If you come up with a way to figure out how to do that, then hooray. But I could round it here, that'd be great, but then it doesn't fit in there right because it's longer than the pouch, right? The pouch is only 6 and this is 6.5. So all you have to do is grab it right here. And just like when you make envelopes, you just cut it. You just cut it at an angle, however steep you want. And then since I don't like to get cut, I just take the corner off of that. Take the corner off of that. And now I have my 6x6 pouch. Ta-da! How cool is that? Here's my paper with my bits in it, and I'm going to put it back this way. And this goes like that. And if it doesn't fit right, like this one isn't fitting right very well, you just cut a little bit more. You just need to cut the angle more. Like this. Bring it in a little bit closer. No, really. Really, I promise, it's easy. And this one here too. And then just get that corner off there. Don't want to cut yourself. The matte one isn't so bad as far as the pouch, laminated pouch. There it is. Fits great. And now I have all the pieces that I want in there. So if I cut any pieces, I just drop it right in there and I'm good to go. So I hope that helped you guys, and I hope you will give it a try. You can label it. You can put your little labels on there, and it's just as professional as can be that way. And all it took was one little blade. And a little bit, just be careful. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you make some. I would love to see your videos. Share them with me if you would. And I hope that this makes your storage crafty life a little bit easier. Thanks, guys. More to come.